The Nike Hypersweep is a popular shoe among both high school and college wrestlers, and today I hope that I can explain to you why this is the case and whether this is the right shoe for you. But let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. The Nike Hypersweep is a very lightweight shoe compared to many other wrestling shoes such as aggressors. Sometimes when you're wrestling, it's so lightweight that you pretty much feel like there's nothing on your foot at all. You're just wrestling barefoot, and that's due to the light materials that are used on this shoe. This mesh material on the side and the rubber sole on the bottom, they're very thin from the outside of the shoe to where your foot is, so that should give it a lighter feel. There's also very good ankle support on these shoes. As you see, they go up pretty high and it stays thin to your foot, so you won't really have any ankle problems while you're wrestling or practicing. There is also the lacing system, as I mentioned before. It goes up the side of the shoe right here, which I feel that it feels a lot better on the side as compared to up the center. I'm not sure exactly why, but there's nothing really getting in your way right there, which is nice. Now, some notable features about the shoe is another thing about the lacing system on this is it uses the Nike Flywire Technology system, which is, see, there are two strings that come out here, these neon strings, and instead of the traditional lacing where you go just through a hole, you actually go through these strings to lace your shoes. And I'm not sure the exact reasoning behind that. I'm sure it's a comfortability reasoning, but I didn't really see a difference on that. Another thing here is there is a lace guard mechanism right here, which will help so you won't have to buy tape to lace your shoes. Personally, I would just buy tape and lace them up around there and tape them up, because it seems to get a little bunched up in there. It's a bit of a weird lacing mechanism. There's not much room in there for you to put your laces, which I don't know why they wouldn't make that bigger, but I would just stick to your tape, honestly. And lastly, there is a reflective material on this shoe, which runs from right here all the way around, and also in the back there's more reflective material, and on the side, and a little bit right here. What I mean by reflective material is if you take a picture of these shoes or you wrestling while you're wearing these shoes, it'll actually like reflect the light that's coming off of it, and it will appear that it's white. Nike Hypersweep is a love it or hate it type of look. Some people might not like the way that the lacing system goes up the side of the shoe, or the random lime green look to it, but I believe that it's a pretty good looking shoe, and that comes at a cost. These shoes are either $150 or $160 depending on where you look. That's the price that I saw for most websites, and every color except for the new red color is $150, and those are $160. Now, these shoes come in 5 different colors, actually 7 colors if you count like bone nickel. I know had I'm pretty sure it was a prototype of the shoe or just a different color that they were trying out, and I have not seen those shoes anywhere else. And also they had the 2016 Olympics like full lime green and pink Rio de Janeiro version of these shoes. But all in all, I'd say that these are pretty decent looking. Now, my recommendations on this shoe, I would not recommend this shoe if you have an extremely wide foot, because as you can see, it is pretty narrow. So if you have a wide foot and you think that you can make it work, it's gonna take a lot of time to break in though. That brings me to another thing. These shoes take forever to break in, it seems like. I was wrestling in these for weeks in the room trying to break them in, and they did not feel the best. Honestly, whenever I started wrestling in them, they were terrible with how hard they were, just trying to get to mold to my foot. So that was not a fun experience. They're also very expensive. $150, that is expensive in my eyes. I don't know, depending on your financial situation, whether you'd like to buy these, but honestly, I think that's pretty high price to pay for a pair of wrestling shoes when there's Adidas shoes out there you can get for 60, 70 bucks. Another thing, as you can see on my shoes, I wore these for about a year and a half, 2 years, and they are starting to break a little bit, as you can see right there at the bottom. And that's about to burst next practice. So I mean, granted, that is a year of college wrestling, which is a lot more strenuous, a lot more practice, so you're going to be wearing them a lot more is what I'm meaning. So they're going to break faster, of course, but that is something to note whenever you're trying to buy these shoes. If you are thinking that you would like to buy these shoes, they are pretty much true to size. So just if you have a retailer that you could go check the size, of course, go try them out. Make sure you get whatever feels best for you. But if you're going off of online, then I would just order true to what you wear on your street shoes, and you should be good there. There will be a link down in the description below of where you guys can buy these shoes, and I hope that I've helped you guys decide whether this is the right shoe for you. Leave your comments down below of what shoe you'd like for me to review next, and have a good one, guys.